So I'm on the women's FSU women's track and field team, and I'm a sprinter. I'm in the 60 meters, the 100 meters, and the 200 meters. It's been a journey. Being a student athlete is not easy because I'm here. I'm here doing my job. I have to, keep my grades up in the classroom, and at the same time, at the end of the day, I have to put in hours of training and I have to keep both balance and traveling and all that is not easy. But I get it done just like all my other teammates.
For them, in me, I have to commit to my education first. I have to get that bachelor's, I have to get that master's first, and then track and field comes after because, God forbid, if anything happens, track is out the window, but I'll always have my bachelor's and I'll always have my master's.
But do you find that your fellow student athletes adhere to that position?
Some of them, and some of them not. But more so, I feel that most of them stand on the same ground the same take that I stand on.
And for those who don't share such a principle, what do you think would be some of the consequences, or what do you think are some of the consequences?
Well, like I said, God forbid if track or sport, any sport is unforgiving. You could be healthy one day, as bright as one day, and something as little as warming up, and you could pull a hamstring, strain something, and then you're out. And in such a case, if the sport or track and field is your main goal, is your main thing, and something happens to you like that, then it's all of a sudden life just starts to hit you like, okay, what's next? Because if you weren't concentrating on the educational aspect, but more so on track and field, when that fumbles, how are you going to go back to the educational aspect? I mean, it is possible that you can, but sometimes it takes much more to go a step backwards than to come all the way back forward into life, if that makes sense.
What are some of the more common reasons you've heard from your fellow student athletes why they don't adhere to, I'm gonna do my schoolwork and get my track thing going?
I mostly hear that it's hard, it's difficult, time management. So other than the fact that some persons just don't know how to manage handling both of them, I think I would just want to assume personal reasons, that's going on in their lives, because it's not just, even though we're students and we're athletes, there's so much more that goes on into our lives that affect both. So I'm honestly not sure, but I just want, maybe, for family reasons, a person might say, oh, I really want to be a professional athlete so that I can get a potential contract and be able to support my family. So all of a sudden, there's this drive for, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get this contract. And then something wrong happens, and then,
So as far as graduating patterns go, would you say that there are more student athletes graduating than not?
Yes, I would assume so, yes.
You would assume so?
Yes.
Why would you assume so?
I mean, in respect to Florida State,
Mm-hmm.
I've been here for a very long time.
Yeah.
And you have, the occasional ones who would drop out for personal reasons or, because they had to leave the team for other reasons. But most of them graduated.
Well, first off, to be honest, while we're traveling, everywhere becomes your classroom. I've had to do assignments, papers, study while I'm on the plane, while we're on the airport, while we're at track meets, the actual meet, or in your hotel room, anywhere you could find, on the bus, every single time that you have spared to do something. But for the most part, when I'm actually about to compete, when I'm warming up, I block it all out. But there were times when, I remember one time I had a 20-page paper and exam, a big exam, coming up like the following week, and I was, frustrated. and it was all on my mind while warming up and everything. But I didn't let it get to me. I didn't let it get to me. For the most part, I block it all out. But there were other times when I had like a Spanish test or something, and I couldn't remember the vocabularies, so I just like wrote the vocabs on my hand, and while I'm warming up, I'm just going through the motion and looking at my hand to remember. So it was like I'm warming up, thinking through my race, but I'm still in school trying to learn those vocabularies for the Spanish exam that I have. So there are times when I'm able to be a student while warming up and while on the line. And there are other times when I just force myself to just be an athlete and just run my race. I must say I am a God-fearing woman. So every day I get up, I say, dear God, I give him thanks, and then I ask him to help me throughout the day, because it's not easy. And sometimes when you know the type of workouts that you have on the track and or the stuff that you have to do in the classroom, whether an exam or whatever, you wonder, how in the world am I going to get through for today? But you just have to have that faith and positive thinking that everything's going to be okay. So you just take it one class at a time, one practice session at a time, and one day at a time. I believe in myself. I work hard, I study hard, and I believe in myself. And so it gives me that that boost, that motivation that I can do anything I put my mind to. So with that state of mind, when I come out on the track, I just go and I excel. Well, being an athlete, to be honest, everything has to be on schedule. I have to do this, and then this, and this. I have to be disciplined. So it helps me be disciplined. And so it allows me to be able to force myself to study and force myself to be on time and force myself to concentrate in the classroom. So when put both together, they're just two different aspects in life, or two different fields that help one another in making me a better person.
I have to get my master's. So my work ethic in the classroom comes first, and then track and field. I put all my energy in for schoolwork. So if track takes out of my day, 4 hours out of my day, my school is going to get 6 to 7 hours out of my day. It's not going to be equal. My education will always have that upper hand